Hi, you're watching a special edition of Sipping Off the Cuff. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio, and that young man over there is
Rick Levy in San Diego.
And Rick, this was by demand, by special request. We are doing a special Sipping Off the Cuff for a particular brand that is near and dear to our hearts here at Tequila Aficionado. It is Tierre. Now, this is an interesting liqueur. It's a maple cinnamon liqueur. It has two different labels. So let me explain a couple of things. Okay. In the United States, it is available in British Columbia. The owners are Wayne Resnick and his two partners. They are in Canada, but they are also available here in Texas. And for the United States, they had to have a different label. So, so you'll notice that it'll say Tierre. Now you can find these folks also, like I say, online, and they're readily available, or you can talk to them over their Facebook page, their Instagram. They do a lot of really neat things.
And would we know these brand owners from any other brands? Do they have like a main tequila line? Or?
Actually, not. These gentlemen. In fact, I'll give you their names because they give all that information out from their Facebook page. Let me just preface this by telling you that they are bronze winner of the Brands of Promise in 2013. We wrote a review of them, but they never actually had a video tasting. So this is kind of like like extra credit. We're kind of catching up. And we have talked, number one, just let me tell you, if you follow us on Tequila Aficionado, we have cooked with this in our test kitchen. All the recipes are available on Tequila Aficionado. Just type in the word maple, and we have a series of recipes. We have spoken with Wayne Resnick, who is the one of the owners of the brand, on our open bar, so you can find that also on Tequila Aficionado. We've talked extensively about the brand and how they all came up with it. It really turns out that two of these guys, Wayne and Troy, let me get Troy Bilodeau, back in January 31st, 2010 is when they dreamt this up. And apparently the way it worked out is, hey, what if we could combine tequila with maple? Wouldn't that be cool, right? And I guess in testing and researching, they partnered up with a guy named Ralph Barazan, who is also involved in the brand. And hopefully this is still considered accurate because I'm reading this right off the Facebook page. Anyway, they produced this tequila. It is apparently made with award-winning, they say gold medal winning, so I'm not sure who won the gold medal and what brand it is, but it's made with gold medal winning blue agave reposado tequila and Canadian maple. And also, according to the website, here's something interesting that I think you would find very interesting. It is also made with a particular cinnamon from Sri Lanka, apparently.
Oh.
Now, this distillery is El Viejito 1107, I believe.
1107. Well, an interesting fact about that is the original distillery where Pelagroso was produced.
Right.
And we've been big fans of the Pelagroso cinnamon. Well,
guess what other one is also made there now?
Which?
You and I had it. I hope I'm not talking out of turn here. As a matter of fact, before I even go in there, I believe, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Sri Lanka. It's flavors extracted from the Ceylon cinnamon bark.
Ceylon.
Yeah.
Well, I think we did review a cinnamon tequila liqueur this year from Dos Almas,
right? But
which
is
made at La Confradia. But I think they're
using another. They went exotic.
So it's not
another
Ceylon cinnamon that they're using?
No, I want to.
Okay.
I forget which island it comes from, but these are like these exotic, hard to find cinnamon barks. Okay, it's not like the stuff you get, you know, every Christmas or Thanksgiving. This is stuff you have to go farm somewhere, you know. So they took a lot of care, you know, in putting this together, and we're finally going to taste it on camera. And I am going to use the Stossel Jarrito. What? Stop smiling.
I'm going to use the Bormioli.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I figured since this is a liqueur cordial type, well, you know, this is not a cordial glass, but I thought it'd be fun.
Well, now let me explain too that I think that they had to bring it in at a certain ABV as well in order to be considered for the American market. It's
35.7.
35.7, so it's 71.4 proof, almost 80. So technically, this is a liqueur.
Yeah.
And so that's how it has to be categorized in the United States. Be that as it may, it's like hand grenades, right? If it's close enough, you know, it's still gonna make a bomb. Anyway, I am going to use the prototype Stossel glass.
Now,
Jarrito.
First, before I smell, before I pour, before I taste, I'll preface this by saying I am typically not a fan of maple on anything except for my pancakes.
You know, and I totally agree with you. I will, and I'll tell you why. I'm a city kid. I was born in Southern California. My first experience with real maple, you're gonna laugh when I tell you. I was on horseback. We were on a trail ride, and I'm not much of a horseman. At that time in my life, I wasn't much of a horseman. So I was being led through these hills, you know, these groves. First, we were going through orange groves, and I'm familiar with that because we had a lemon tree in our backyard. And then as we got past the groves, we were among all these trees, and I didn't know a whole lot about, you know, about plants and all that. And I could have sworn, I could have sworn that I smelled pancakes. And I said to the gal who was leading us, I said, "Do you smell that?" She goes, "What?" I go, "I smell pancakes. Is there somebody cooking?" You know, all of a sudden I'm thinking pancakes. I want bacon. You know, it was early in the morning, right? And she says, "No, you dummy. Those are maple trees." It's like, are you kidding me? It really smells like that. So that was my first experience with maple other than Aunt Jemima, right?
I kind of had the opposite experience. I grew up in Maine, which might as well be Canada. And we had maple trees in our yard. And I remember my father and grandfather tapping those trees in the fall. And,
so they made their own maple syrup or candy or
Yeah, they made their own maple syrup that year.
Oh my gosh! Well, how was it?
I don't remember. I wasn't even school age yet.
Oh, okay. You were just a little tyke. Okay. Well, until I had this, you know, that's exactly what I thought when they sent this to us originally, back in 2013 or 2012, into 2012, and they sent this bottle to us. I said, "Oh God, if it tastes like Aunt Jemima, I'm done." You know, because at that time, the infusing tequila was still in its infancy, and there was a particular brand that had a jalapeno and it had a chocolate and it had a tropical, and I hated that stuff because I couldn't open it in the house. I was told not to leave it open in the house because it was so bad and so strong. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't looking forward to it either, and my only other experience with an after dinner liqueur was Agavero, the original Agavero from Jose Cuervo, which is really sweet. You got to drink that like on the rocks, and you know, because I can have like maybe one or two of those and I'm done because it just coats your palate. So I'm not a big, you know, I wasn't a big liqueur fan to begin with either. But had my first taste, and I thought, you got to be kidding me. this is what real maple is like. And Lisa, your sister, our CMO, said, yeah, that's exactly what it's like. So take a look at the. It's got a beautiful color. I'm not even sure how long this Reposado is rested. I don't think I have that information.
It's maple.
It's about. Now you haven't had any, right? You haven't. That was the first.
This has not touched. Bottle. Yeah,
okay.
I just uncorked it. It's just hitting my nose for the first time. I've never tasted it before.
Wow.
It's a nice combination of maple and cinnamon.
Yeah, the cinnamon. It's a unusual. I want to call it orange, but it's not. It's not. There. It's similar to orange, is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
But it really isn't. It's distinctly different.
Well, since this has been in a barrel, we could be getting a little bit of orange from that.
Maybe I'll buy that. Not knowing how long it's been rested either.
We're picking up, sweetness from the maple probably, and then you combine that together, it could easily read as orange. But the maple's definitely there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
that cinnamon.
I like how the cinnamon is giving it, like a little bit of a spicy accent, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to balance out the natural sweetness of the maple.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try it.
So entry's smooth. It's sweet but not cloying.
It is not. It's not for your pancakes.
And you can still pick up that pepper effect on the back of the palate, and that mixes with the cinnamon. It's very complimentary.
It's like I'm getting like a bitter orange peel. I still want to call it orange. And that has to be. Am I getting somewhere? Am I in the neighborhood? Because it's
absolutely.
I'm feeling it
totally getting orange zest on the palate.
Yeah. Okay. But it's like a bitter orange, almost like a.
Well, from the
there
zest.
Are oranges. Aren't there bitter oranges that are made like with? Okay, I'll give you for instance. There's Cointreau. There's what's the other one?
Grand Marnier.
Grand Marnier, and then Patron makes one.
Citron,
but they make it with bitter oranges. It is a bitter orange, and it's not. This isn't as harsh.
And then they load it up with sugars.
yeah. It's the only one I've ever had that has a bitter orange aftertaste.
When we were talking earlier about our early experiences with liqueurs, tequila liqueurs, my first experience with a tequila liqueur was Citronge.
Oh, yeah. See? Oh,
and
Citronage, yeah.
Yeah, that is never something I would even consider sipping like this.
Oh, no. And you would drown it, in a margarita for sure. Wow. Now, there's still a little bit of alcohol in there too, but it's way at the bottom. I mean, and my bottle, I have a closed bottle. This has been a bottle that, we've gone through several bottles. Thank goodness to you guys there in BC. But we've cooked with it. Lisa has made truffles with it. Like I said, all those recipes are available on Tequila Aficionado. All you have to do is put in maple.
I appreciate the restraint that they've shown in building this liqueur.
Thank you, and see, I when I first tasted it, at the time we didn't have other tasters, and it was just myself and Alex, and that's exactly how I felt, except I couldn't express it that way. What I was happy about is that it didn't taste like Aunt Jemima, because we've had tequilas that you want to just pour over your pancakes, man. You know, XAs that are expensive and are really sweet and cloying. This is not. That's why, you know, my only guide in that area was Lisa, and Lisa had said, this is what real maple is like. It's not Aunt Jemima. What people think is maple is all artificial.
Yeah.
When you have real maple, which I've never had, still. So this is the closest I get, and I was really happy with that, because it was almost like I could sip this. Yeah, you could float it on a margarita if you want. You know, but I was really impressed that this was not a liqueur that was going to make me stop at 2. You know what I mean? Two drinks is my limit, because I couldn't do anymore. But I really enjoy. How's it coming up off the Bormioli, off the glass?
You know, I think it's coming up as we've described. The maple is forward. The cinnamon provides a nice accent, and I'm certainly getting that orange peel that we talked about.
I think those are your 3 main. I think if we were to cut it up in 3, you know, I like you said, I like the restraint, because it does take restraint, because they could have easily have gone overboard with this.
But then, you know, we have to think they are Canadian, right?
Right.
So they're really going to know their maple, and they're going to be purists when it comes to their maple,
See,
as opposed to here in America, where, you know, they dump high fructose corn syrup and everything, and
right.
So.
Yeah. Well, see, there you go. A maple purist. I like that. That's well said. I couldn't have said it better.
We actually have a restaurant here in San Diego where the chef really enjoys the flavor, qualities, aromas, I guess, of maple, and pretty much every dish they have has maple in it. And so I'm really tempted to walk down there with one of these bottles and just say, hey, who's in charge here? You got to try this.
Oh, my God. If you do, could you take it?
They'll put it in everything. Like when I was there, I had this dish. It was like, you know, it was like a chicken and potatoes kind of thing, but with maple. And, you know, they do. The chef knows what he's doing, or she, I'm not sure. But because everything's balanced out, the maple is forward. But just like this, it's not overpowering. It's, you know, it provides a nice accent.
I really, and now that I'm having it out of a better glass, because, you know, at the time, back in 2013, all we had was the Riedel. Now that I'm having it out of this glass, I'm really picking up some. I didn't like back then. I didn't get that bitter orange, and I can't attribute it to having a better palate, maybe, because, you know, since 2013 we've had an influx of infusions, you know, and everybody's trying to do it now, you know, and some of them are doing it badly, but the ones that we've tasted have really, you know, in fact, the year that this won the bronze from us, I should back up and tell you, we didn't have as many categories as we do now, as we will this year as well. It was lumped in with Avion Espresso and the Peligroso Cinnamon. And the funny thing is, Peligroso Cinnamon, when we had it at the time, we only had one sample, so it was very much the same way as this one was. It had a written review as opposed to a tasted review. We did the tasting review.
Those were also kind of breakthrough infusions for tequila, because Avion Espresso is, you know, to date, I think probably the best coffee infused tequila liqueur, and you know, that Peligroso Cinnamon at the 42 ABV was just something else.
Yeah, it was stellar. It really was. It made just that whole thing just pop out. So, you know, that's where and it probably wasn't fair to lump it in that category, but that's all we had, you know, and I think that was a hell of a showing for something with maple, you know.
Yeah.
So we ran the gamut from chocolate to maple in that one year, you know, and I think it was a hell of a show for De La Terre. But congratulations again to these guys. They have really done it right. I think Rick just nailed it. They're maple purists as well as tequila purists, and that says a lot. That really says a lot. Again, it's available here in Texas. You can pick it up in many locations. I'm not sure what the price point is. It is also available in British Columbia and probably other parts, unbeknownst to me, in Canada. But congratulations to Wayne and the guys who put this together at De La Terre, and for convincing Rick that, you know, that, hey, if you do go to that restaurant, please keep us posted. Let us know what happens, because this could be something. You know, I didn't even know that kind of a restaurant existed in San Diego. That's crazy. But then again, you know, it's California. So, you know, every cuisine under the sun is available there. So, anything else you want to add?
I think that's it. We'll let this speak for itself.
All right, terrific. Well, in that case, congratulations. This is a Brand of Promise winner for De La Terre. Won a bronze medal in 2013. Go find it. If you're in Texas, go get it. You will not be disappointed. Great for after dinner, and it's still a hearty tequila too. I mean, it may as well be 80 proof. So, but that's our take. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio, and that young man is
Rick Levy in San Diego.
You've been watching Sipping Off the Cuff on all of our networks. Please subscribe wherever you're watching or listening to us. But in any case, do what we tell you. Tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.